Hey everyone, Dev with Crime Hive, and in this true crime video we're talking about an active manhunt that is currently going on, and we're going to talk about the details in this case. And you've got a picture here of the two suspects currently on the loose, which we'll talk about as I go over the 7 facts in this case. And you've got the victim here, which we're going to talk about as the first fact here. So you've got Michele Marlow. All right, if you take a look at her, she is the victim of a senseless crime, which leads us to fact 1 right here, which was she was killed via shooting January 13th, not very long ago, okay, just this year in Hickory, North Carolina. I'll pull up the map here in just a minute. The suspects are considered armed and dangerous, and we'll get into who these suspects are as we go into fact 2 here. So as we're looking at fact 2, you've got Tangela Parker, okay, and Eric Parker, her husband, okay? So these two right here, she's wanted for first-degree murder, and her husband, Eric, is looking at accessory after the fact, meaning, you know, he has some knowledge of this potential crime. He is, actively helping her escape and, has information that could lead to the arrest, but he's choosing not to do so. So he's looking at an accessory after the fact charge, and I want to get the I'm going to pull up the wanted posters here so you guys can see more information about them as I'm pulling this up here. We'll start with Tangela. Okay, so Tangela, she has a couple aliases. If you guys happen to be in North Carolina or Tennessee, we'll talk about why Tennessee as well. But she goes by these alias names of Honeycutt, so Tangela Honeycutt, and also Tangela, looks like Watson, and Tangela Winsnott, okay? If you can see those there. She's described as white or white Hispanic, okay? She's from North Carolina, 5'2", about 240 pounds. She's got blue eyes, brown hair, and there's a couple more pictures of her here. And I want to pull up her husband, Eric. Okay, so again, he is supposedly with Tangela, and he's described as a white male or white Hispanic, about 5'9", 240 pounds here. He's got blue eyes, brown hair, and here's a couple more pictures of him. So you guys have a good idea of what he looks like. Okay, fact 3, what led to this senseless crime was over an argument over moving tables. Okay, so it led to her killing, Michele's killing. And what happened was Tangela and Michele, they worked together, and I'll again pull up the map here in just a moment here. Tangela was sent home for 3 days based on this argument, and she ends up coming back to the work site and shooting and killing Michele. So this is what you're looking at right here as I pull up the map. The place was TCS Designs, and this is in Hickory, North Carolina. Okay, so we're looking at Hickory here now, and I mention this because even though they have supposedly fled, a U.S. Marshal had said on one report that they could still be in the Hickory surrounding area. So if you happen to be in that area in North Carolina, definitely pay attention here. So this is it's a furniture wholesaler. This is what it would look like here, just to give you some context on what this place is and where it's at. Now, here's another map I want to pull up here because of a few reasons here, which we'll get into more information. But they may have fled to Tennessee towards the Smoky Mountains. Okay, so we're going to talk about that here. Okay, I wanted to go back here to facts 4 and 5 because I was getting a little ahead of myself here. So when they fled the scene there, they were traveling in a 2019 Honda CR-V, and we've got this North Carolina license plate here of FAM 5669. So take a look at that here. Again, I'm going to pull up the map here. Fact 5 here, and I'll pull back up the map here. The phone was recovered in Colettville, North Carolina. So here's what we're looking at here. Okay, so you had Hickory, right? They fled Hickory, and then the phone was recovered here in Colettville, if I'm saying that correctly. If you happen to be in that area, I'm sure you'll correct me in the comments below. But about a 4 hour and 41-minute drive to Smoky Mountain area in Tennessee. For some reason, investigators believe that they may have fled to this area, but they're not sure. They're not really giving out a lot of information as far as what that information might be. But if you're in Tennessee or you happen to be in that area, keep in mind they could be really within this stretch, and we're looking at over a month that they've been on the run. So pretty interesting. Family has said that Tangela doesn't really have a lot of experience with the outdoors, other than maybe walking around with dogs and minor hiking, things like that. Didn't really say much about Eric's ability to survive out there with the resources they have. Don't know if they packed their vehicle with quite a few resources before they committed this act. But we're looking at about over a month, and they're still hiding out, which leads to another question of is somebody else helping them? Is someone hiding them? Are they completely away from this area now and in a completely different state? But you've got the U.S. Marshals involved here very heavily. There's been a lot of activity, people seeing helicopters and a lot of search parties all over in those areas. So keep that in mind if you happen to be in that area. And again, fact 6, they might be in that Tennessee-North Carolina border. Fact 7, the last fact here I just want to mention here, they are offering a reward of up to $10,000 right now if you have any information that leads to their arrest. So you can call, again, you can be confidential. You can submit a tip to 877-WANTED-2. You can also go to the U.S. Marshals website at usmarshals.gov/tips and submit that information there. Now, just to show you the car real quick here, this is kind of what we'd be looking at with this 2019 Honda CR-V. It's a beige color. We don't have I don't have the specific vehicle. This is roughly what we'd be looking at there, just so you guys have an idea of that. And then that's really all the information I have really on this case right now. So 7 facts. Definitely, if you need to look at the plate again, just go back in this video. And then again, if you followed me this far, just consider subscribing. Okay, if you have any information here, we obviously want justice here for Michele. Again, senseless act. She was shot in cold blood. And Tangela and her husband are on the run. Active manhunt right now. We're hoping this will resolve soon, and I will be back in another video next week. You all take care. This is Dev with Crime Hive.